So it's official, the most heartbreaking news for Indiana Fever fans that could come of the season, but Caitlin Clark will not be returning to the 2025 WNBA season.
Caitlin Clark is officially out for the rest of the WNBA season, and that's the nightmare fans prayed wouldn't come true. 13 games in, her groin injury shut the door, and now the league has to face a brutal reality. The star everyone tuned in to see is gone. Some fans are even saying the Fever strung people along, never giving a timetable, just to keep ticket sales and ratings alive a little longer. And the irony? They made the announcement the exact same weekend football season kicked off. Talk about losing the spotlight.
This has been a huge disaster as far as public perception for the WNBA. An entirely new group of people started tuning in to this league for one player and one player only. In fact, so many new people tuned into this league, the viewership for the Caitlin Clark games largely surpassed anything else going on in the WNBA. I would argue that the amount of Caitlin Clark fans are at least 3x.
The WNBA just got hit with a reality check. Numbers are dropping hard. Ratings, ticket sales, the whole wave of hype that Clark brought is crashing down.
Norm for the WNBA is being largely ignored by the media. Largely ignored by sports media. Not considered a real professional league, to the point where people didn't even know it existed until CC22. That's just a fact. You can't believe how many times I have people come in the chat and say, I didn't even know that there was a professional women's basketball league until Caitlin. Yeah, it's the fact.
And at the center of it all, the Indiana Fever, the only team holding this thing together, just lost their anchor. What was once the league's golden ticket now feels like a house of cards. And without Caitlin, it's collapsing fast.
Fever and Clark saying that she tried to get back on the floor. It appears that she just ran out of time, not able to get enough confidence back in her body as the season wraps up and the playoffs are likely about to begin for Indiana. I mean, it's a gut punch that basically encompasses an entire season of them. The Fever have lost so many players to injury, but obviously none bigger than Clark. And there was such a wait for this second season after her magnificent rookie season.
Clark took it into her own hands to post about her season ending. She said she worked in the gym every day with one goal, getting back on the court. Disappointed doesn't even cover it, she wrote. But she also thanked the fans, reminding everyone how much their support meant to her. That post wasn't just an injury update, it was the closing bell on a season the WNBA built everything around.
I hope to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play the season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I'm feeling. I want to thank everyone who has had my back through all this uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. And the way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I'm so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year.
When she was supposed to return versus the Minnesota Lynx, supposedly, and then the Scott Agneses and all them start talking about she suffered a bone bruise in Phoenix, I told y'all it was a wrap. It was done. It was done. They knew it. And I believe they've known far longer. They have known. They've kept us fans in the dark, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Man, I was so looking forward to watching Caitlin Clark play this season. Now we have to wait an entire offseason, and we don't even know what's gonna happen. There might be a lockout. There might not even be a 2026 season, guys.
Because let's be real. One announcement flipped everything. The historic Rise narrative got exposed as fragile marketing. Executives aren't just concerned, they're panicking. When you build an entire league's momentum on one player's shoulders, every hit she takes feels like an earthquake. And this one just split the ground wide open.
She knows just how much she means to everybody that buys those tickets. I mean, I would say at least like 90 to maybe not 95, but like 90% of the people in arenas were there to see Caitlin Clark, which of course they became fans of the Fever afterwards. But you know, Caitlin Clark is the draw. And then here's this one where she's actually in her street clothes. And yeah, these are, you know, pretty heartfelt photos. Her in the huddle with her teammates. But I gotta say, this was quite a year. I mean, there came a certain point where people, including myself, were just like, what is actually going on?
Hoop List fam, drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's really to blame here? The league? The refs? The Fever's front office? I'll be pinning the spiciest takes.
This season has been a complete train wreck. This season's been a complete disaster. We got the GOAT, who only played 13 games, missed basically the whole season. DeWanna Bonner scammed us. Natasha Howard basically scammed us. Stephanie White's a liar. Amber Cox is a liar. Kelly Crosskoff's a liar. Now we have to go a whole offseason with the front office we don't trust, we don't believe in, we can't believe anything they say, and we don't know what's really going to happen with Caitlin Clark's.
The numbers don't lie. With Clark playing, Indiana's games averaged over 1.2 million viewers. The second she went down in July, ratings fell off a cliff, down to 400,000. That's a 70% collapse. And those were still the hope she'll be back soon numbers. Now that it's official, that cliff just turned into the Grand Canyon. For networks and sponsors, that's not a dip, it's a nightmare.
Not only a huge blow for the Fever, but also for the entire WNBA. Caitlin was out with an injury back in June. Viewership dropped over 50% across the league. That's the kind of effect that she has on things. And it seems like from her post and how they announced it, Caitlin was the one that was trying so hard to get back on the court. She has traveled to every single away game. She's always meeting with fans, taking photos, signing autographs, doing all of the things because she knows how many people come out specifically to see her. But I'm really interested to see what viewership and attendance looks like now that it's official that she's done.
The WNBA had a golden chance to show it could hold attention without her. Instead, games looked empty. Resale tickets dropped from $80 to $20 overnight, and markets that moved games to bigger arenas for Clark's star power suddenly couldn't fill their own seats. That's not growth, that's exposure. Exposure of just how much one player was carrying everything.
I've got a couple of things. I've got my dude, Jason Whitlock, saying he's done. He's out. We've got Colin Cowherd saying, you know what? Guess what I didn't talk about on my show this year? The WNBA. Guess why? He just come out and said it yesterday. Because Caitlin Clark was not playing. That's why. He said, I led my show, my biggest, largest national sports radio show in the country. I led my show with Caitlin Clark 6 times last year.
And here's the cruel twist. Clark didn't just carry the Fever, she was the WNBA's entire economy. Her impact was projected at $1 billion this season. TV deals, merch, tourism, sponsorships, all tied to her. 90% of fans in arenas came to see Clark. Not the logo, not the league, not even the team. One player. That's cultural gravity no one else could match. But here's where the league fumbled. They didn't protect her. Clark endured more physical abuse than anyone else this year. 17% of all flagrant fouls were committed against her, and refs just let it go. Instead of safeguarding their superstar, they sacrificed her body to keep ticket sales rolling. Now they're paying the price. No Clark, no hype, no ratings, and the postseason is looking like a ghost town. Think about it. This year's playoffs were supposed to be record-breaking, the highest rated in league history. Instead, ESPN and ABC are bracing for ratings black holes. Because the truth is, casual fans didn't tune in to see who would win the finals. They tuned in to see if anyone could beat Caitlin Clark. Without her, the drama is gone. And if she's out, a lot of fans are out too. The wildest part? Clark doesn't need the W nearly as much as the W needs her. Her brand is global, she'll recover, she'll come back, and she'll still be the face. But the league just got exposed. They put all their chips on one player, then failed to protect her. And when she went down, so did everything they built. So, Hooplist fam, let's call it like it is. This isn't just Indiana's heartbreak. This is the league's crisis. Without Clark, the WNBA is staring straight into its worst nightmare. Like this video if you think the league failed to protect its biggest star. Subscribe if you're rocking with Hooplist for the real talk every day. And share this with a hooper who needs to hear it. Because one thing's for sure, the Caitlin Clark effect is real. And the WNBA just learned the hard way what happens when you gamble it all on one player.